Now let's also bring you the latest updates from the Supreme Court as it hears appeals against some governorship election. The Apex Court earlier today reserved judgment in the appeal filed by Governor Caleb Mutfwang, seeking to challenge the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which sacked him as governor of the state. A 5-member panel of justices of the Supreme Court, led by Justice Inyang Okoro, reserved judgment after hearing argument from parties for and against the appeal. The governor, through his counsel, Kanu Agabi, is praying for the court to uphold the judgment of the tribunal and set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal because the respondents have no right to question how a party elects its state executives.
Like a lack of structure. And then also you will also find that the Congress they said never held is actually a subject matter that no court can deal with. We also had it in court. That it is not for any court to determine whether that Congress was valid or invalid. You know, the judgment has not come, and we are waiting to hear what the decision will be. But we are comforted by the fact that they gave us time. They gave all the parties time to canvass their case. And so we expect that the judgment of the Court of Appeal will be upheld.
The court also reserved judgment in the Delta State governorship election appeal to deliver judgment at a later date. Let's bring in TVC News judiciary correspondent Celestina Ira, who joins me for more on this. Thank you for joining us at this time. Well, let's talk about today's judgment. This case is a bit distinctive in the sense that there is already a decision by the Supreme Court that sets the pace of pre-election matters not to be entertained by the election tribunal, which was not, reflected in the former judgment in the Plateau Tribunal. So how did this, reflect in today's judgment?
Well, today the court held the appeal filed by coming from the Plateau State and also the Delta State. But that of Plateau State, the governor was in court. From his body language, he was excited because usually hearings gives litigants an incline on the direction the court will toll, but not to preempt the court. Looking at the argument and the question asked by the justices to the various respondents, the case that the governor brought before the court is seeking to overturn the judgment of the Court of Appeal that nullified his election. The tribunal at the stage affirmed his election, stating that the issue brought by the APC is a pre-election matter, and as such, the court lacked the jurisdiction, and it is an issue of qualification, sponsorship, and nomination. But at the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal nullified his election, stating that qualification and sponsorship or nomination is both a post-election and a pre-election matter. But at this very point, which is the Supreme Court and is the last stage, the counsel to the governor had told the court to overturn the judgment of the Court of Appeal and affirm his election on grounds that the APC had no right to actually question how a party conducts their congresses. That has been the position up to the Supreme Court in various cases. It is an internal party affair, and the party and the other opponents or the party has no right to question. But the argument of the respondents is the fact that there is a valid subsisting court order that the governor is and his party is in violation of. And this was an issue between the PDP. The PDP had an issue internally. They went to the lower court up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court asked that congresses should be conducted in 17 local governments. But the argument of the APC is that the PDP only conducted congresses in only 5, leaving out 12, which is in violation of a court order. But the case now, even as though it was the PDP within themselves that came to the court, does the APC have a right to interfere in that matter using that judgment to want to nullify the governor's election? Because the argument of the APC is the fact that the governor is in violation of a court order. But these were the issues raised, and also the court also reserved judgment.
Okay, Celestina, looking at the governor's countenance from this video we have on the screen.
Has just been concluded.
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Looking at the governor's countenance that we see, he seems quite positive about the outcome of today's decision. And I hear that the Supreme Court is expected to deliver the verdict on the matter before the 16th of January. Well, we expect a reply from that in our subsequent bulletins. TVC News Judiciary correspondent Celestina Area talking to us live from the Supreme Court in Abuja. Thank you for joining us.